Dear learners, welcome back to your educational channel, Learn and Educate, where we were studying a few basics about the Income Tax Act, where income tax consolidates and amends the law relating to income tax and super tax. In this video, we would be studying Section 2, Clause 40, Regular Assessment. Regular assessment means the assessment which has been made under subsection 3 of section 143 or section 144. Now, under this, the basic lies in what is the meaning of an assessee. As per section 2, clause 7, assessee means a person by whom any tax or any sum of money which is made payable under the Income Tax Act and includes every person in respect of whom any proceedings under the Income Tax Act 1961 has been taken for the purpose of assessment of his income. For the purpose of assessment of his income or assessment of fringe benefits or of the income of any other person in respect of which that assessee is assessable, or the loss sustained by him or her or by any other person of the amount or of the amount of refund due to that person or to any such other person, which means that where assessee means the definition of assessee includes himself, herself, or with any other person in respect of which he is set to receive the refund, or the loss sustained by him needs to be adjusted, or in respect of other person's income, that person, that is he or she, is assessable, or the person, every person to whom, under, against whom, in respect of which, in respect of the Income Tax Act 1961, any assessment of income or assessment of income or a reassessment of fringe benefits has to be taken place, which means that any benefit which he has received in accordance with an employment, additional benefits, which is in terms of monetary terms, fringe benefits is benefits arising to any person in terms of money, in term other than cash, other than salary, the definition of salary, and it is fringe benefits. Therefore, in the respect of his income or assessment of fringe benefits, assessee means, as per section 2, clause 7, subclause B, every person who is deemed to be an assessee under any provisions of Income Tax Act. Under the any provision of the Income Tax Act, where any person who is deemed to be an assessee would fall under definition of assessee. And under subclause C, every person who is deemed to be an assessee in default under any provisions of Income Tax Act 1961, any person who is deemed to be an assessee in default, which means that he has defaulted in with respect to submission of returns, filing of returns, or any assessment, deduction of tax at source, TDS, TCS, or in respect of payment of tax. Therefore, that person would be termed as assessee in default. All these definitions are included under assessee. And as per section 2, subclause 8, assessment. The word assessment includes reassessment. The word assessment includes reassessment. Therefore, it is an inclusive definition. The definition of assessment given as per section 2, clause 8 of the Income Tax Act 1961 is inclusive, where it states assessment includes reassessment. Now, as per chapter 14, procedure for assessment of Income Tax Act 1961, under which section 139 states about return of income, where every person, it states that every person who is a company or a firm, or any person who being a person other than a company or a partnership firm, if his total income or the total income of any other person in the respect of whom he or she is assessable under the Income Tax Act 1961 during the previous year, which exceeds the maximum amount which is not chargeable to tax, which means that as per the threshold limit which is not chargeable to tax exceeds the amount, then where the regular books of accounts are maintained, where books of account which are maintained on a regular basis by the assessee, and the return is submitted along with the return for income tax is submitted along with the manufacturing account, the trading account, the profit and loss account, or the income and expenditure account in the similar account and balance sheet, or in the case of a proprietary business, in the case of a proprietary business or profession, the personal account of the proprietor. In case of a firm, association of persons, body of individual, personal accounts of the partner or the members. And in the case of partner of a firm, in the case of a partner or a member of a firm, association of persons or body of individuals as his personal accounts in the firm that are being submitted in the return. Now, we hear it states that regular assessment means the assessment under the section 143, as per section 143 assessment, where as per section 143, where a return has been filed under section 139 or in the response to notice which has been issued under section 142 subsection 1, such return shall be processed. The return, when processed, as the total income or the loss which is computed after making the adjustment for any arithmetical error in the return, any incorrect claim made, if such incorrect claim is apparent from any information in the return, which means that as per the return submitted, any information which is appearing to be incorrect in the return given, disallowance of loss claimed, which means that any loss which has been occurred to the assessee, he has claimed that loss occurred by that assessee, but it is not allowed as for that previous year in respect of which return has been filed, for which the setup of loss is claimed by furnishing was furnished beyond the due date submitted as per section 139 subsection 1, which states that when the return has been furnished submitted beyond the specified date, beyond the date which, as per the provisions of section 139 subsection 1, exceeds the date beyond which the return has been filed, and for that purpose that assessee wants to claim set off of losses in respect of losses that are disallowed, disallowances of expenditure which indicated in the audit report but has been not been taken into the accounts in competition the total income of the assessee, which states that for the purpose of competition of the total income, the expenditures are claimed from the income, and that expenditure are disallowed which has been mentioned in the audit report but has not been taken in the books of accounts. Moreover, disallowance of deductions which have been claimed under section 10 AA, under section 81A, under section 81AB, or section 81B, or section 81C, section 81D, or section 80, which means that section 80 IA, IB, IAB, IB, IC, ID, and IE, and the return is furnished beyond the date which has been specified under section 139 subsection 1. And moreover, in addition to that, the income appearing the income appearing in form 26AS or form 16A or form 16, which has not been included in the computing the total income in the return, and before the adjustment, in case of any responses received within 30 days of such issue of such intimation, such adjustment shall be made. The tax, the interest and fee, if any, shall be computed on the basis of the total income which has been computed under clause A. And moreover, in respect of subsection 1A, for the purpose of processing of return, the board, Central Board of Direct Taxes, may make a scheme for centralizing processing of the returns. They shall make a scheme for centralization of processing of returns with a view to an expeditious determination of the tax payable or the refund which is due to the assessee as required under that subsection. And now, subsection 3, as per subsection 3 of section 143, where on the day specified in the notice which has been issued under subsection 2 of section 143. As soon as afterwards, after hearing the evidences by the assessee may produce and such other evidences as the assessing officer may require on the specified period points, and after taking into account all the relevant material which has been gathered by the assessing officer, then assessing officer shall, by an order in writing, make the assessment of the total income or the assessment of total loss of the assessee and determine the sum which is payable by him or her, or any sum which has been refunded of any other amount due to the assessee on the basis of the assessment. On the basis of the assessment, the assessing officer shall make an order in writing making the assessment of the total income or loss or and determination of the sum payable on account of refund to the assessee. But provided that in the case of a research association which has been referred to in clause 21 of section 10, or any news agency referred to in clause 22b of section 10, association or institution referred to in clause 23a of section 10, institutions referred to in clause 23b of section 10, any fund or institution which has been referred in subclause 4 or trust or institution referred to in subclause 5, or any university or other educational institution referred to in subclause 6, or any hospital or other medical institution referred to in subclause 6A of clause 23C of section 10, that in these cases regular assessment under section 3 of section 143 has been carried out. In the case of regular assessment or under section 144, it states about best judgment assessment, where any person who fails to make the return required under subsection 1 of section 139 and has not made a return or a revised return as per the section 139 subsection 4, or revised return as per section 139 subsection 5 or he fails to comply with the terms of notice which has been issued under section 141 142 subsection 1, or have failed to comply with the direction issued under subsection 2A of section 142, or that person having made a return but fails to comply with all the terms of the notice issued under subsection 2 of section 143, then the assessing officer, after taking into account all the relevant materials which the assessing officer has gathered, and after giving the assessee an opportunity of being heard, make the assessment of the total income or the loss to the best of his judgment and determine the sum which is payable by the assessee on the basis of assessment, where it provides that the such opportunity of given by the assessing officer, by serving a notice of calling upon the assessee to show cause, which means a show cause notice has been issued on the day and the time specified in the notice. Why then the assessment shall be completed to the best judgment. Why the assessment should not be completed to the best of his judgment, provided that it shall not be necessary to give such opportunity in a case where a notice under section 142 subsection 1 has been issued prior to making an assessment under that section. Moreover, on the specified date which has been notice has been issued under subsection 2, or afterwards, as soon as afterwards, after hearing evidences as the assessee produce and such other evidences as the assessing officer may require on the specified points, and after taking into account all the relevant materials which has been gathered by the assessing officer, then the assessing officer shall, by an order in writing, make an assessment of the total income of or the loss to the assessee and determine the sum which has been payable, a refund due to him as per the provisions of this section, which stood immediately before the amendment. And moreover, the after the assessing officer shall give an opportunity in case where a notice under subsection 1 of section 142 has been issued. Therefore, regular assessment means the assessment which has been made as per subsection 3 of section 143, which states that where after the evidences, after hearing, giving an opportunity to the assessee, and the evidences which has been gathered by the assessing officer, the assessing officer may require on the specified points after taking into account all the relevant material which has been gathered. Then the assessing officer shall, by an order in writing, make an assessment of the total income or assessment of the total loss of the assessee, and after making an assessment and determine the sum payable by him or the refund of any amount which is due to the assessee on the basis of such assessment shall be made by the assessing officer as per the provisions of section 143, which states about regular assessment or made assess a regular assessment, which means the assessment made as per section 144 of Income Tax Act 1961, that is best judgment assessment.